Picture this. Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, sits in a boardroom in 2009 and decides to bet $44 billion on something the rest of America had written off as obsolete: steel rails, freight cars, diesel locomotives. While everyone else chased tech stocks and financial instruments, Buffett went all in on infrastructure that hasn't fundamentally changed since the 1800s. He wasn't alone. Across the country, a quiet revolution was brewing. Tech moguls were buying vintage train cars. Hotel magnates were assembling luxury rail empires. Even a tequila billionaire was turning a 1927 railroad coach into his personal rolling palace. This isn't nostalgia. It's something else entirely. While government infrastructure crumbles and public transit struggles for funding, private wealth is pouring back into America's rails. The question is, why now? And what does it mean when billionaires start building the transportation networks our government won't? The Gilded Age returns. Walk through Grand Central Terminal on any given day, and you might spot something extraordinary hiding in plain sight. Attached to the rear of an Amtrak train, gleaming like a jewel among standard passenger cars, is a private rail car. Mahogany paneling, crystal chandeliers, a full kitchen and bar. Most people don't even know this is possible. The American Association of Private Railroad Car Owners, founded in 1977, helps wealthy enthusiasts restore these rolling mansions and charter them on mainline railroads. For about $200,000, you can buy a disused mid-century rail car. Then comes the real expense. Complete luxury renovation often costs close to $1 million. John Paul DeJoria, co-founder of Patron Spirits, knows this arithmetic well. In 1996, he bought a vintage 1927 rail car originally built for the Gulf, Mobile, and Ohio line. He spent about $2 million refurbishing it in what he calls Maharaja's Palace style. Plush velvet sofas, crystal chandeliers, 3 staterooms, a gourmet kitchen, and an open-air observation deck. The Patron Tequila Express, as it's known, regularly hitches rides on Amtrak trains across the country. DeJoria uses it to host friends and VIPs, turning what could be a routine business trip into an event. Dan Aykroyd, the actor and vodka entrepreneur, has been known to tend bar on the back platform as the American Southwest scrolls by. But here's the surprising part. Once your car is certified, Amtrak will tow it for roughly $4 per mile, plus storage fees of $2,000 to $3,000 per month. A coast-to-coast journey in your personal carriage is feasible if you can afford tens of thousands of dollars per trip. During COVID-19, demand actually surged. As commercial air travel became a nightmare of masks and middle seats, ultra-wealthy families discovered private rail cars offered the ultimate social distancing escape. You could travel in your own bubble, with your own staff, avoiding airports entirely. It's been called the newest status symbol for those rich enough to travel like they did 100 years ago. Skip the TSA, skip the cramped airline seats. Step into your private salon car and let someone else worry about the driving. The revival mirrors the original Gilded Age, when railroad barons like the Vanderbilts and Goulds maintained fleets of palace cars. George Gould's private train required guests to dress in full evening attire for dinners served on gold Tiffany dinnerware by liveried footmen. During winter social season, up to 30 private cars would line the sidings at Palm Beach. That golden age ended with the 1929 crash and the jet age, but now it's back, quieter this time, operating in the shadows of Amtrak's regular service. Betting billions on steel rails. Warren Buffett's $44 billion acquisition of BNSF Railway in 2009 shocked Wall Street. This was Berkshire Hathaway's largest deal ever, an all-in wager on something most investors considered yesterday's technology. But Buffett saw what others missed. America's freight rail system was in the best shape it had been in decades, thanks to heavy private investment. While passenger rail struggled with government funding and political gridlock, freight companies had quietly modernized their networks, upgraded their equipment, and carved out profitable niches, moving everything from coal to consumer goods. Buffett wasn't betting on nostalgia. He was betting on physics. Trains can move 1 ton of freight 470 miles on a single gallon of fuel. No truck, no plane, no other transport mode comes close to that efficiency. As fuel costs rise and environmental regulations tighten, rail's advantages only grow. He wasn't the only tech mogul paying attention. Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates became the largest shareholder of Canadian National Railway, holding about 14% of CN stock by 2019. Both Buffett and Gates are known train enthusiasts, but these weren't vanity purchases. They were calculated bets on infrastructure that governments couldn't or wouldn't adequately fund. On the passenger side, an even more audacious experiment was taking shape in Florida. Wes Edens, co-founder of Fortress Investment Group, was building something America hadn't seen in decades: a privately funded passenger rail line. Brightline launched in 2018 as the first new private intercity passenger service in the U.S. in over 50 years. Starting with Miami to West Palm Beach service, it expanded to Orlando in 2023, with plans for a high-speed line connecting Las Vegas to Southern California. Edens leveraged an innovative financing model using tax-exempt private activity bonds to fund the $9 billion project. It's a fascinating hybrid: private vision with public financing tools, bypassing the usual political gridlock that kills American rail projects. The stations themselves reveal the ambition. Miami Central doesn't just have train platforms. It includes a chic food hall, co-working spaces, and even a heliport on the roof for VIPs to transfer from helicopter to train. Premium ticket holders get access to private lounges with free snacks and drinks, mimicking airline-style service tiers. Edens sees this as a legacy project. Upgrading our nation's infrastructure and building high-speed trains can be this generation's Hoover Dam, he said. If Brightline succeeds, it could pave the way for more privately funded rail corridors across the country. The model represents a fundamental shift. For decades, America assumed passenger rail required government operation and taxpayer subsidies. Brightline is testing whether private capital and entrepreneurial vision can succeed where public entities have struggled. Moving command centers. Not all luxury trains are about leisure. Some serve more strategic purposes. In 2023, investigative journalists revealed details about what they called Vladimir Putin's Ghost Train, a 22-car luxury express that allegedly serves as the Russian president's mobile command center. The leaked photos showed a gym, a spa with Turkish steam bath, a cosmetology center with anti-aging machines, and lavish dining and sleeping quarters. Much of the train is reportedly bulletproof and communications equipped, essentially a Kremlin on wheels. Cost estimates ran to $74 million to build and $15 million annually to maintain. The Kremlin officially denies the train belongs to Putin, but multiple sources suggest he increasingly favors it over air travel for security reasons. The logic is sound. Flight tracking makes presidential aircraft movements visible to the world. A train can move covertly across Russia's vast rail network, stopping at secure facilities, carrying its own security detail and communication equipment. North Korea's Kim Jong-un inherited a similar tradition from his father. His armored train reportedly includes conference rooms, luxurious living quarters, and bulletproof cars, plus space for his armored Mercedes vehicles. The train allows him to travel to summits in China or Russia while maintaining absolute control over his security environment. These aren't just transportation. They're mobile fortresses. The train can operate independently, carrying its own power generation, communication systems, and even defensive capabilities. For leaders who prioritize security above all else, rail offers advantages no aircraft can match. But the concept extends beyond autocrats. America has its own history here. President Franklin D. Roosevelt traveled in the specially built armored Pullman Ferdinand Magellan during World War II. After armor plating was added, the car weighed 142.5 tons, requiring upgraded trucks and speed restrictions to prevent derailment. There are persistent rumors that Track 61, a hidden platform beneath New York's Waldorf Astoria Hotel, was designed for VIP arrivals. Built in the 1930s, it includes a private elevator directly to the hotel. Whether FDR himself used it remains debated by historians, but the infrastructure exists. A secret rail entrance in the heart of Manhattan. The pattern is clear. When ultimate security and privacy matter, trains offer unique advantages. They can carry heavy armor, extensive communications equipment, and large security details. They can operate on dedicated routes, avoiding the congestion and vulnerability of airports. Standing on the platform at Miami's Brightline station, watching a sleek train glide silently into the terminal, you're witnessing something remarkable. Not just the return of passenger rail to America, but a fundamental shift in how infrastructure gets built. For generations, we assumed certain things required government leadership: Highways, bridges, rail networks, these were public goods, too expensive and complex for private enterprise. But that assumption is being tested by billionaires who see opportunity where politicians see problems. Maybe Warren Buffett is right, and rails represent the future of freight transport in a carbon-constrained world. Maybe Wes Edens has cracked the code on profitable passenger service. Maybe the ultra-wealthy collecting vintage railcars are preserving something precious that would otherwise disappear. Or maybe we're watching the creation of luxury transportation networks that serve the few, while the many wait for buses that never come. The trains are running. The question is, where are they taking us?